5-star. Don't be a hater. Today I'm going to continue my podcast episode. I've been doing a lot of superhero stuff, but I'm going back to back because it's back to back because it's mostly to do with historical figures within my family context. So last week I went Sanusi. This week I'm going ADESHALO. She was my great grandmother. I like to call her, well, she was my grandfather's grandmother. So I call her G7. ADESHALO, King of Odogbolu. Yes, King. She was a King of Odogbolu. You ever seen that movie, Woman King? That was my great grandmother, minus the man on the side who was a sharing king. So it wasn't no shared king throne. It was strictly her. But when you talk about historical figures within the context of African history, a lot of times people don't. There are many forgotten champions, man. And unless somebody's telling the story consistently, then nobody's telling the story at all. So my great grandmother, ADESHALO, she was one of them, man. Actual king of a woman in that era too. I mean, there are many queens, kings. Amina, Queen Amina, King Amina, as I like to call her. There's many like that, but today we're gonna focus on my great grandmother because this is family crest, and then next week we'll get back to some superhero stuff. But ADESHALO was the king of Odogbolu, a great warrior queen. She did some amazing things, mostly being a woman figure who championed women in back then, championing women's rights. You know what I'm saying? That was important because even then a lot of men had to understand that a woman's in charge. And it's funny, back then women were actually military and all that stuff. I don't know when it's turned into like women need to be staying at home and be soft and but that's more Eurocentric type living, not African like living, because those who know about African history know a lot of women have to do with the warrior ways of Africa. So that's where that is. But before we get to this amazing episode, we want to thank our sponsors. This Science Vision podcast is brought to you by Homeland Fashions, home of authentic African fashion accessories from the motherland. If you love accessories, custom designed apparel, attire, you got to go. Just like my T-shirt, something like this. Yeah, you got to go. You got to go to homelandfashionsshop.com. And owner CEO Tracy Agbuke, she will definitely be coming on the show. I'll make time to make time. That sounds funny. I'll make time to make time so that she comes on. Hey, how you doing, Miss Mia Rodriguez? Thank you for welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining me on this another amazing episode of Sanjana Life, episode number 245. ADESHALO is the name of the episode, so thank you for joining me. Let me get the sponsors out the way, then we can get to this amazing episode. So y'all gonna have to bear with me. This ain't gonna take long. This Vision podcast, as I was saying, is brought to you by Homeland Fashions, home of authentic African fashion accessories from the motherland. So, Homeland Fashions is owned and operated by Tracy Agbuke. She's gonna be on the show, and look, this is the Homeland Fashions logo. So this is Homeland Fashions. Thank you everybody for joining the chat. Thank you for being part of the chat. I appreciate y'all. If you haven't already liked, subscribed, please like, subscribe. We're getting closer to that illustrious 1,500 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? 1,500 subscribers. Thank y'all for joining me, man. Thank you for being part of the chat. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you. Hi to everybody. Hi to Laylee, D Monster, 067, and then Mia Rodriguez, of course. Hi to everybody. How y'all doing? Hopefully y'all doing well. I know my podcast is starting late, but it's the time I can. I got off work. If I could get on this thing, I had to get a nap, man, because otherwise I was not going to be able to keep my eyes open. You know what I mean? But today's episode is very vital. So this is homelandfashionshop.com, home of authentic African fashion accessories from motherland. So if you need custom design jewelry, custom design clothes, they're coming soon. ADESHALO is coming soon with the website. Clothes are actually getting uploaded into the website right now as we speak. They're building up what they're doing. And we will have Tracy Agbuke on to be on here to exactly break us down to us exactly what's going on with homelandfashionshop.com, because I'm excited about what I'm seeing from her. So definitely looking forward to one of the best, the greatest CEOs out there in the galaxy, man. So I did Tracy Agbuke. And this podcast also brought to you by Tigler. If you need executive services from plumbers to pediatricians, everything between, search Tigler. Don't wait. That's Tigler.com. Don't wait. That's Tigler.com. That's Tigler.com. Tigler.com is owned and operated by Aditya Agbuke, one of the greatest CEO, is the greatest CEO out there in the galaxy. Tigler, if you need plumbers, pediatricians, carpenters, landscapers, caregivers, anything professional, Tigler is your middle person to let you know, vet the person you're looking for, to find the right contractor and all these different professionalists to do what you need them to do. You know what I'm saying? You definitely need a meal plan. That's Tigler.com. And you can go to visit Tigler.com as well. But also, too, let me show you their logo. And I'm going to flip right there. There you go. We got Tigler.com. That's their logo right there. You can go to the website, Tigler.com, and check it out. They're located in 2 locations, in the West Coast, Los Angeles, Long Beach area, and also in the East Coast, Virginia area. So check them out, Tigler.com. And this podcast also brought to you by Anadel for the Knuckle. Don't live with foot pain. Let Anadel for the Knuckle make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's right. Anadel Center, operated by Dr. Nervin Sode, the best foot specialist in the galaxy, just like Adeta is the best galaxy in the CEO in the galaxy. This Dr. Nervin Sode has 2 locations in the Frisco, Texas area, and the Dallas, Texas area. And thank all of y'all for joining me, man. Thank y'all for being part of the chat, man. Today's a live stream about the Queen of Odogbolu, my great-great-grandmother. So give me a second. Let me introduce the sponsors. So if your foot is hurting like I don't know what, and you have foot pain, you can't walk, which a lot of us experience, plantar fasciitis, all that good stuff, a bad gait, you got to go see Dr. Nervin Sode. And he's located in 2 locations, in the Frisco, Texas area and the Dallas, Texas area. So go see him. And look, he just got me some new custom orthotics, man. These are the new ones he just made for me. So these are definitely the ones you want to go get. So go visit AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. All right, y'all, let's get into this amazing episode. You know, normally I have to freestyle anything or whatever, but I don't have to do that today. Because the woman that I'm going to talk about today I'm part of her bloodline. I'm a great grandson. You heard me? Great grandson. ADESHALO is the name. King of Odogbolu. If you've ever seen that movie Woman King, that's who character I'm talking about. She was King of Odogbolu. So, you know, when I was watching Woman King, I was just laughing in my head like, this woman reminds me of my great-great-grandmother, except she was not a leader of an army. She actually was the queen from birth, king from birth. She never shared a throne with a man. She was the one on top, and the man was the one on the side. So that was my great-great-grandmother, King of Odogbolu, because her father was the king. Now, you've heard of a great king, Amina, from ancient Africa. Well, my grandmother was one of those such as well. ADESHALO. Till today, her name is on a house that my grandfather built where we're from in Odogbolu. Yes, her name is on the house. I mean, that's how bad and the house is pink too. And so it was restructured in her honor. The streets, the city still talks to her name. They still know her name. She was many things, and the things I'm going to focus on: her origins, her as a warrior, her as a woman king, her as a revolutionary, her as a women's advocate, if you can use that word, because back then, her as a woman's advocate. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I hope y'all can hear me. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Can y'all hear me? Advocates. Can y'all hear me? I hope y'all can. I seriously hope y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? I think y'all can, right? Y'all can hear me? I guess. Anybody, if you're in the chat, say hi. Let me know if you can hear me. I think y'all can. So hopefully I think we're good in that department. I hope. But she was those things. And of course, women's African. And then, of course, I'm going to focus on getting your mind right. My final thoughts. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that. I span. Thank you for in that. And look, all of y'all, look, I keep wanting to thank y'all because I won't get to this episode without thanking y'all. Thanks to y'all, we're inching close to that illustrious 1,500 subscribers, man. 1,500 subscribers, man. That's amazing beyond amazing. That's a lot of subscribers, man. I've come a long way since the year started. I've come a long way since last year started. And thanks to y'all, I'm inching closer to telling my job to go to hell, man. I'm at that point where I'm like, yeah, I need to go ahead and get up out of here, man. I get tired of coming home from work and wanting to say, like, I just got off work. You know, there's a certain point where you have to have a courage to say, you know what, something is done in your life. You know what I'm saying? And so for anybody out there who you're pursuing a dream, when it's time, man. You have to take a risk, and you just got to take a risk. You got to trust in yourself. There's no safety in a job. I'm going to say that much. As I always say, job stands for just over broke. Literally. That's what I call the acronym. Give me a second, y'all. Okay. All right. So let's get it. And yes, I'm wearing my nice new hoodie. This hoodie is next level sick, man. This thing is next level sick. This is the new style of hoodies we're making now. And that I'm making now. Let me not say we, that I am making. Let me give myself credit for the stuff that I'm doing. I'm making magical things happen, but this is what I'm doing. So thank y'all. So let's start off with my grandmother's origins, man. She was born in the early, oh my God. Y'all aren't gonna believe when I tell you this, man, but more in the early, like, in the 1500s. Yeah, that was right around the prime of when Spain was invading Africa, and right when they were stealing slaves, stealing human beings, and moving them back and forth. Hey, Kelly D, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining me. So right during that time in 1815, in the 1500s, that was her time. So I can't give you a precise time, but that was the time frame of when she was King of Odogbolu. And so her father was the king, and used back then, you didn't really have to be, not that you didn't have to be a man, but if you had daughters, then your daughter took over as ruler to become the next in line of succession. And so that was my great grandmother. That was ADESHALO. She was the king of Odogbolu. That's how she became king of Odogbolu. Well, but what made her unique was that most women kings usually marry a guy to look like they're strong. She did the opposite. She's like, I run this shit. I'm going to do this shit. And that's exactly what she did. So the guy she was with was, you ever heard of Queen Mapongo in Angola? That was my grandmother. You ever heard of Amina in Nigeria? That was my great grandmother. These women are incredible. Like, I could tell you, there's endless women queens and kings that are just badasses that I could tell you about. But today's my first one is going to get to ADESHALO. She was a lady. She was a lady who understood politics, understood tactics, understood warriorship, understood fighting combats. So, being a woman, people thought, okay, it'd be easy to come and go ahead and take Odogbolu. Not so was the case. So her origins, as her father passed, she became in line of succession, and then so she became the ruler of Odogbolu. One of the things that you have to understand is women back then had, it's funny. America likes to talk about all the rights that women have in America, but the women ain't got no rights. Women in Africa have got way more rights. Women are cherished in Africa. Over here, women in America, women are not cherished. They're just seen as incubators and things to carry babies and spit out babies and lay on their back and cook in the kitchen. You see what I'm saying? In Africa, a woman really calls a lot of shots. You know what I'm saying? And so my great grandmother, ADESHALO G7, I like to call her back in the day, she was the king of Odogbolu. She did a lot of amazing things. And thank all of you for joining me again. Welcome to another awesome episode of Sanusi on Life, episode number 245. Today's episode, ADESHALO, king of Odogbolu. Yeah, she was all that. And look, thank all of y'all for joining me. If you haven't already liked, subscribed, please like and subscribe. So back to my grandmother's origins. This might be one of those 40-minute podcast episodes, because I really don't have to go long on it. I can just tell you the story like freestyling, because the excitement in my voice, you can tell like I'm a guy who's really honorable and feeling privileged just even telling this story. And just the fact that I'm of lineage from a great woman such as this is why I have a lot of respect for women, the possibilities, the abilities, the journeys that they take. But my grandmother was she was a succession in line. She just took over. I can't tell you whether she was the youngest. How you doing, Lisa? Welcome to the chat, Lisa Soto. Thank you for joining the podcast, episode number 245. Episode number 245 about ADESHALO, king of Odogbolu. Yes, she was a woman. My great grandmother. She was the king of Odogbolu. So telling these awesome African stories always brings me joy. And today I'm not wearing African wear, but I am wearing African attire still, because it's just a different form of African attire. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so the origins, she became king of Odogbolu, and when she became king of Odogbolu, she took over the duties from her father, who passed away. It's I'm sure just like any other lineage of family, I would not be surprised if any cousins or any siblings wanted to challenge her position on throne. I'm sure she had to break her foot. Thank you for liking the background. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yep. I'm an artist. I'm an animation artist, but I always speak on different things too as well. So if you haven't already liked, subscribe, hit the notification button. And some of y'all are wild. Y'all just coming in and out, man. It's like going live on a sculpture episode. But anyway, y'all, so that's her as origins. And I wouldn't be surprised if any family members try to challenge her throne position and try to say, denounce her as the king of the Gulu for their own personal gain reasons, which is not uncommon in African culture or family. Even the great King Shaka Zulu, who was betrayed by his half brother to the British. That's the only reason why the British beat Shaka Zulu. And I'm going to talk about Shaka Zulu eventually. He's down the pike. You know what I'm saying? But that's where we at. So that's my great grandmother's origins. So she was a woman, a powerful woman, became in line of succession from her father. Once she took over, now she decided to recalibrate the army, recalibrate the military, but change the way it operated. Because for the longest, I think they underestimated what women could bring to the fold. Yeah, as I said again, Woman King literally reminds me of my great-great-grandmother's life. I mean, it's just, but except minus the damn English. You know what I'm saying? And all some other bullshit they put in there, man. I hate when they make movies about Africa and then they have to just Americanize the bullshit. It gets on my damn nerves. Don't make the damn movie if you can't speak the language. Don't make the movie if you can't take the time to go speak the language. I don't understand the culture in totality. It's bullshit. I don't care how people that watch Woman King feel. No, you're not gonna disrespect my culture. Because that side of town or your side was my side of town. So that's the area we descend from. So I'm not about to take any bullshit. As I said, story like that reminds me literally of my great grandmother of Odogbolu. So that's the origins of her. And so as she grew into position, she had to understand the politics of her position, who her friends were, who her allies were. I can't even imagine. Oh, thank all of y'all for joining, man. Welcome to the chat, y'all. Y'all be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. And let's get these likes up. Come on. We're gonna have so many people in the chat and ain't nobody hitting no likes. Come on, man. Give me a break. Let's go. And also to subscribe. The goal is to get to 1,500 subscribers. Last I checked, when I got on this chat, I think I was 3 away from the number. So if you're joining me, please be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Show us love. You know what I'm saying? Yes, this is the times I do my podcast most of the time because I get off work, I get out of school. I'm a busy man. I got a lot going on in my life. So y'all, thank y'all for joining me. So as she's fighting, as I'm sure she did, she must have went through a lot of different battles. A lot of it mostly, I can imagine psychological battle she's going through when she's having to deal with family members trying to betray her while she orchestrates and maintains the balance of her father's legacy, her father's throne, her place as a king. And people, and I'm sure there were men that were like, wait, a woman can't be king, or like hell it can. Shit. My grandmother, she did it. G7, as I like to call it. She did it. So let's just call her G7 from now on. So that way we don't have to go great, 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 great. That's a lot of great, 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 great. That's too many. So just go G7. You know what I mean? So that was G7's call right there. You know what I mean? So next up, which is important, and I put this particularly in this order on purpose. You know, with Sanusi, I went origins and scholar and warrior and merchant and messenger man. I don't know anything about ADESHALO being a medicine woman, but I do know that she was a woman who valued warriorism. She was a warrior herself. A spear. You know, so I'm making a spear and a shield right now, actually in class, and I'm actually gonna grab it. Give me a second, y'all, so I can show it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is really a day of me honoring both of them. All right, y'all. Look, in my hand right here is a spear and a shield. Yeah, you thought I was joking, right? This is a shield right here. This shield honors her, and this spear honors my grandfather. So don't worry, I'm gonna break this down later. But you thought I was joking, huh? I told you. Oh yeah, this is major. The shield is named ADESHALO. I literally named it after her. So it's one of those things where you focus on culture, and so she's a warrior, right? I told you. Look at this. This is an African shield. I made this. I'm still making it. It's not even done yet. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I made it in school right here. I'm making this in school right now. ADESHALO. So these symbols you see on the shield are called Adrika symbols. So one of the things that makes it unique, is that you know what makes her unique. So she's a warrior, and you have to understand back then as well as taking on succession of her father's throne, she's a warrior. But instead of being like most other women, she's like, you know what? I'm not gonna marry a man to protect me. Oh no, I'm gonna do my own protecting. So she gets into training. She becomes trained in the combat arts, right? Of course, the choice of weapon back then was a spear. You see that right there? This is a spear that I made in school. Yes, I'm still making it right now. It's part of a big project. It's called Awoija, which you've been seeing me go live on for the last 15 days on TikTok. I mean, on YouTube. So my grandmother decides that she's going to train herself in the combat arts. And let me show you an image, y'all. A lot of women that were like my grandmother, give me a second, y'all. They were like images like this. Let me show y'all. Because these were the great African warrior queens. Like, I'm talking like, my grandmother was like this. Look, check this out, y'all. Look at this. You see this image right here? That was my grandmother, G7. That was the stuff like that. Women like this were the women that represented my grandmother. Great warrior queens. You see what I'm saying? You see these ladies right here on the left, right here? Yep. You see this ancient black queens right here? That was my great grandmother. She was a warrior king, literally, and wasn't no Dahame. You see this right here? So that's the kind of stuff that my great grandmother was doing. And so this is what you're talking about when you talk about the historical context of how things should go or how they existed. So she's basically coming in and out, and she's learning herself a warrior. So she has to teach herself combat, military skills, tactical skills, understanding of her enemies, what her father was fighting, who her father was fighting. I mean, it's whatever encompasses in warriorism, that's what she had to pick up. So it's no accident that I have a warrior attitude. I get it from my grandfather's side. I get it from my grandmother's side. I don't really like today at work. I was at work and I was on my phone. I was doing my usual marketing and I was just sitting down. And then I guess my manager thought I was just sitting there chilling. I wasn't just chilling. There was no customer. I just sat down. And when you do a bunch of things at one time, you actually need some rest. There's a point that I'm getting to in my life where I know I'm counting down to leaving my job. That is for damn sure. I'm getting the hell out of there. That job can only do so much for me now. I'm done. It's kind of getting to the point where it's in the way. And I got to thank one of my boys, King Kimba, who sent me a message when I dropped the animation series, Cardiac Assassin, the new animation series, which I'm going to show y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show y'all that later. You know what I mean? But that's what was happening to me. I'm at that point where, because I'm strong, you can be strong in silence. Letting somebody talk, so that the conversation goes a lot shorter is very brilliant. And it's strong like a motherfucker. I'm starting to realize that being silent is strength too. Just not saying nothing will make a person like, what the hell is this guy thinking? I just said, okay. And because I've realized, y'all, my job doesn't decide a fucking thing in my life. I do. I don't need the job anymore. I'm not in debt. You know what I'm saying? I can pay my rent, do all the things I got to do to get where I got to go. I think when the universe, excuse me, y'all, when the universe is moving you forward, let the universe move you forward. You see what I'm saying, y'all? Don't slow down because you think staying at a job is progress. No, staying at a job is just safety. And that's one thing I've always learned through my family history or from ADESHALO herself. You ain't safe at all till you make yourself safe. So my grandmother's learning to be a warrior. She's learning to be a queen. She's learning to be a king, wearing both mantles, right? Because you couldn't call her a queen because she's not. Queen is usually seen as secondary in the context of a family thing when you have a king and a queen. Unless the king was married to the queen and then he's given a rank or title, but he's a sidekick, I guess, in a way. But my grandmother was a King of Odogbolu, and so she's learning to be a warrior. She has to learn military tactics, combat skills, get the right generals around her, get the right military council, get the right soldiers, train the soldiers. So not only was she that, but she was a trainer of soldiers. And these were all women warriors. Just like what you see in that movie, Woman King. Except my grandmother wasn't having a king, wasn't no male figure on the side. No, it was just her. Her husband was just a husband, but he didn't have no title. He wasn't no king. You see what I'm saying? So he kind of worked at her BS. I guess in a way you could call him a motherfucker concubine. I don't even know what to say to what the word is. But that's the kind of power women were wielding back then. And so she was a warrior and she had to learn how to be a warrior. And when you're a warrior like that, everything you do is kind of like seen as an example towards the people that are around you in your area. So I don't want to call it area, but in her kingdom. Odogbolu was our kingdom. I mean, just being able to know that my great grandmother was a king is incredible. This lady was, to say beyond incredible, is just amazing. You know what I'm saying? So that's her as a warrior. She taking on mantles of duties that she had to take on now. The other track side of her being a warrior, learning to fight, combat skills, putting the right soldiers around herself, the right people, is also being what I'm looking for here. Also being a woman king. Being a woman king, I stress that as a title because it's very important that you understand that her being a warrior is what kept her woman king title. She knew she had to protect her throne. And so what did she do? She trains herself. You put the right people around you, right counsel around you. You got to have spies. You got to have combat skills yourself. You got to be wise. You got to be generous. You got to be kind. You got to put your foot down. You got to put your foot in people's ass. It's like when I go to work, a lot of my coworkers, I was telling a coworker today, man, I said, he was telling me, he said, I don't make enough time for my business. I said, brother, I can't even give you an excuse, man. I told him straight up, I work before I go to work. I don't work after I get off work. So I work my job. I have my regular job that I do. Before I go to work, I do something to do my dream. And when I get off work, I'm back to doing my dream, which is what I'm doing right now. And I'm still at work till 2 a.m. in the morning every day, man, just trying to get this thing in. It's not easy pursuing a dream. You got to chase for grants. You got to chase for this. You got to chase for that. And you got to not give up mostly. And you got to not give a damn what people think. And you got to lie to let no job hold you hostage. I'll tell my job to go to hell when I'm good and ready. All I'm doing is buying fucking time. That's literally all I'm doing. Literally, is all I'm doing. I'm buying time. I've got a set date to when I want to quit, when I want to leave, and that's when I'm going to leave. Nobody's going to stop that shit. Nobody can stop it. The job, I don't need the job. I'm there because I want to be there. I'm not one of those who's going to stay at a job just because of benefits. That's a terrible reason to stay at a job. All it does is just decay you as a human being. It's not the right way to go. Thank y'all for joining me, man. Welcome to the awesome episode of Sanusi Not Life. My name is Adewale Agboke Jr. We're getting closer to that illustrious 1,500 subscribers, man. 1,500 subscribers, y'all. Can you believe that? So I need all 26 of y'all to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. So y'all, that's where we at. Now let's talk about back to my grandmother being a woman king. And as I said before, when you're a woman in that time, a lot of men are thinking you should be working for me. They see you as a concubine. Not so was the case with my grandmother, man, aka G7. Look at this guy. Look at this loser right here. You know, some of y'all are just pathetic. There's always some weak ass human being that's sitting there going around being a loser. You must really jack off a lot. Just to look at this Alejandro, whatever the fuck your name is. You're a loser. You got to take your ugly ass and find somewhere else to go shove your head down the toilet. And nobody's going to miss your ass too either. Get the fuck out of here. Look at this dude. How you have nothing better to do other than to come and talk shit on other people's platform? You got to be one weak ass human being to do some shit like that. I love clowning losers like this because I really do enjoy it. You're just a little bitch ass. That's what you are. Look at him. He's all mad and stuff. What are you mad about? What you thought I wasn't gonna? I just ignore people, man. It's easy to just block you. It's too easy to hit the block button. Some of y'all are some of y'all are bitches, and it makes me to understand why a lot of people are where they are, why they are where they are in their life. You know what I mean? So y'all, her as a woman king wanting to protect herself. It's I'm surprised. Give me a second, y'all. Oh, this shield is so cool every time I look at it. No, wait. So go do it then. If it's gonna. All right, y'all. So yeah, as I stated before, man, one of the great things about doing something like this is when you're talking about a great woman king like this, she was very, as I said, being a woman back then, you really had to organize yourself. I think being organized is probably the biggest attribute that she had. I'm not surprised that I'm organized. I'm not surprised that my mother's organized. I'm not surprised that we are very strong and fortitude. I'm not surprised that I'm achieving the things I'm achieving because I come from a lineage of a woman who was just incredible. I mean, I couldn't believe when my mother was telling me a story about this woman. I said, what? We got a what? And I was just so excited. The same excitement that I had for my grandfather, for Sanusi, is the same excitement that I had for ADESHALO. I was like, oh my God. So when the time came to do a project, I said, I'm going to honor them both. So I made the spear for Sanusi and I made the shield for ADESHALO. And for all of y'all who are wondering, yes, I can fit my hand in the shield. Look at that. You see that? Look, that's my hand in there. I'm holding the shield. I call it ADESHALO. Look at this thing. This is sick, man. And don't worry, I'm going to spend one of my podcast episodes one day talking about sculpture because I'm starting to create a whole bunch of sculpture. And I don't care about creating sculpture that's going to be picked by some asshole that works at a museum only picking white culture. I don't have time for that. I'm creating art pieces that create impact. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going to do any nonsense, man. But ADESHALO as a woman king, her skills, her level of intelligence, her brilliance is what kept her father's, now her kingdom in her hands. I really think she knew who her enemies were. She knew who her allies were. She formed allies with people. She because you got Odogbolu, then you got Abelkuta, which is where my great-grandfather was from. So, which is about, I guess I want to say it's like 2 hours away from each other. Maybe, I think it's like 2 hours away. I could be wrong. It's about 2 hours. But that's so weird that both my lineage on my mother's side and my father's side is filled with warrior kings. And then what's really cool is that I don't have to step outside of my box to find somebody I can admire. Of course, there's individuals that I admire, like Fela Kuti and Tupac Shakur and Malcolm X and Amina, all these great kings. You know what I'm saying? It's just people that I admire. But to actually have a bloodline of greatness, oh my God, that is so cool. Oh, excuse me. I didn't even know I wasn't wearing my beads. Are you kidding me? The whole time I wasn't wearing my beads, ain't nobody say nothing. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, but yo, that's her as a woman king. The understanding of navigating politics. That had to be interesting. Her navigating politics. I can only imagine her sitting there. She's sitting at the head of the throne of a table or something, and you got a bunch of men and women. Hopefully it was a bunch more women than men. And they're over looking at her like, why are you in charge? That's always the thing, like, when you're sitting as a person that's in charge. And I'm looking at her like, I'm thinking like, man, grandma she lived an incredible life. Like I said, till today, she's remembered in Odogbolu. She's honored by my grandfather who built a house, who's long passed away now, going on 25 years. So she's honored. And then the house that she's honored with has been rebuilt again. So it's really, I went home last year, I got to see it. I was very proud of it. It's in one of my videos. I'm going to see if I can actually find it so I can show it to y'all. But it was one of those glorious moments where I said, man, I am really, 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 really lucky to have a family bloodline like this. So, it's one of those things, man. So y'all, yeah, that's where we at, man. So y'all, that's the warrior, that's the woman king side of her. I think when you're a woman king or you're a woman that's in charge, whether you're a queen or a king, either one it goes, you have a different way of battling people. You have to use psychological warfare on these people, as well as physical warfare. Of course, you're a very skilled combat person and know your way. But my ADESHALO was, without question, like, she wasn't playing around. She knew what she could do and she did what she gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So that's ADESHALO right there. Now, her as a revolutionary, when you're doing what she's doing, you're indirectly a revolutionary. A person like her would know that she was a revolutionary. But I'm sure that's not the word they used back then. I have no idea what the word they used back then because they weren't speaking English. And no should they speak English, as we say in our language. On lati mobetofelo. So I'm gonna say it again. That means you must know yourself to know where you want to go. Right? So my grandmother knows herself. So it's only easy that she's able to navigate through. Thank all y'all for the likes, man. Y'all, thank you for liking, subscribing, and hit the notification button. It's only right that she navigates her way through to figure out what kind of king she's going to be. Right? She's not negotiating with people. It's an understanding of I am this and you are that. This is what I want y'all to do. And having a bunch of people sitting at a throne, being a revolutionary, because you have to understand, as I said, she was born in the era of when Spain was literally trying to colonize Africa, when they were stealing slaves left and right. And then Portugal was there as well, stealing, murdering. It's a mess, y'all. As I said, Portugal, Spain, England. So we've mostly faced Portuguese and the Spanish. Boy, the Spanish sure have a terrible history, boy. They sure have a terrible history. And they make it seem as if, oh yeah, we're great at soccer. Like, fuck you. I don't root for European teams. I don't root for European countries because you are colonizers. You are terrorists of the highest order. Period. I'm not hiding about that. You know what I'm saying? So there's no getting around that. But her being a revolutionary, you have to understand, what are you fighting against? You're fighting against dominance. You're fighting against colonialism. You're fighting against foreign domestic colonialism, and you're fighting against domestic colonialism. Because you have to understand, you have other tribes. And this is I don't want to call it tribes. Other nations, because the word tribe is created by the Europeans. We're not using the word tribe. Tribe is fired. That's what keeps Africa divided. The word nations, other nations within Odogbolu who want to conquer the lands that she has, and she wasn't having it. So you put together an army, and let's be sure, she was successful defending her kingdom. You know what I'm saying? It's like a very these are the stories like I said on my podcast. I focus on stories that you should know about, and then I've made it a conscious effort now to really focus on African figures. A lot of great African figures. I'm probably going to spend the next 5 weeks talking about African figures, man. Once in a while, I toss in the superhero stuff, but that's why this podcast is called Sanusi Art and Life. Art and life being the operative word. You know what I'm saying? So when I think about me daily, when I go to work, I'm thinking to myself, like I was at work today, I was thinking, one day I'm going to say no. I'm going to tell this job to go to hell, and it's not going to be before, and it's going to be by the end, sometime this year. Let's just say that way. I want to spit it to the universe, man, because I've had enough of being somewhere where I know I don't need to be anymore. It's eating up my time. It's in my way. It's just when something starts to get in your way, you got to move it out the way. And you got to have the courage to move it out the way. And you don't let nobody talk you out of moving it out the way. Y'all get what I'm saying? So that's being a revolutionary. I mean, this side of me where I never really let myself get bullied. I respect order if order respects itself. I respect the space that I live in. All those are attributes that aren't just mine. They're attributes that I get from my great grandmother, my G7, as I like to call her, ADESHALO. I just love her name, even my name, because the Ade part of her name means crown. And then let me get you the rest of the Shalo parts. Y'all give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. Man, I keep seeing all these cool images of African queens. Man, this lady was incredible. Incredible, to say the least. Yeah, this is, look, let me show y'all an image. This is kind of what my grandmother would have been. G7, ADESHALO. That's the kind of warrior she was right there. Dressed just like that. I mean, she was bad, man. She was so, oh my gosh, she was the truth in 2 quarters. Let me get y'all, I got to get you the meaning of the name ADESHALO. Give me a second. Give me a second. Meaning of name. So ADESHALO is a name of a Yoruba origin from Nigeria, typically given to children to signify a royal and noble background. It's often interpreted as the crown makes wealth. The crown brings honor. Y'all see what I'm saying? So my grandmother's name means the crown brings wealth, the crown brings honor. Yeah, she was, oh my gosh, she was the truth in 2 quarters. ADESHALO, she was, and Yoruba meaning, so because it's a Yoruba name, as I'm Yoruba. Oh, well, tell you what, Pyroglyphic, you have a chance to learn about your grandparents, get your knowledge on, man. We all owe it to ourselves to know our history, to know where we come from, to know where we want to be, where we want to go. Because once you get that tied up, man, everything else fall in line. You feel me? Kayla, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Thank you all for joining me. Another episode of Sanusi Life Podcast. Today's episode will focus on ADESHALO, my great grandmother, man. So she was all that in the back of Gypsy. I call her G7. And look, let me flip the camera again, Lucky see. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. I do my best. Thank you so much. I really do my best to put out the best video I can put out, man. And I enjoy what I do, which is why I was telling you I'm going to tell my job to go to hell soon, man. I really am. I've had enough. Thank you. Look at this right here. So this is ADESHALO right there. Yoruba names. So she was my grandmother's name is just so instrumental. And so my name itself means the prince come home. So, you know, in our family, she's a grandma's G7, she's still celebrated. I mean, it's no greater feeling, you know what I'm saying? She was all that, man. I'm so proud of the fact that I can actually honor her. I mean, to know you have lineage from such a great lady, from such a great woman, it's a great feeling, man. I mean, I love that I know my history. I think that's one of the things that makes me unique. That's what the revolution inside of her, realizing that, hey, I got lineage, I got descendants, I got to make sure that they are free to be as they be, free in name, free in spirit, free in everywhere you can be free. You know what I mean? So thank all of y'all for joining me. And then, of course, the woman's advocate part of her. She's a woman who how can I put this? She valued women's rights, man. Sometimes you get a lot of women kings that still think that you need to have a man as your side, or to be the male figure, the central figure. My grandmother was G7 was the complete opposite. ADESHALO wasn't trying to hear that shit. The man worked for her. Most of her allegiance, most of her council was all women. Her army was mostly all women. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where we get these things where we think that women used to just be in the kitchen. That's only in European nations. European nations never respected their women. African countries have always put women at the top flight. True feminism existed in Africa, not this bullshit that exists in Eurocentrism. You know what I'm saying? So I always laugh about that, man. I always find that really ironically funny that people always think that Eurocentrism created feminism. No, Africa created feminism, and the word feminism don't need to exist because women have always within Africa anyway doing these incredible things. I mean, how many great European warrior queens can you name? Most of them sat on their ass and had soldiers doing their work. But you can name a bunch of great African warrior queens and kings: ADESHALO, Amina, Queen Opongo, Queen Nefertiri. The list is endless. You know what I'm saying? It's just endless. Queen Asantwa from Ghana. She's one of my favorites. You know, my top 5. I got my top 5, man. Of course, ADESHALO is my favorite. Amina, Queen Asantwa, Queen Opongo. Who else am I leaving out? Queen Nefertiri. Those great 3-5 African queens right there, some bad motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So that's women's advocate, making sure that women had the rights, the things a woman needs to be. She didn't have to be married off to a man to have a life for herself. So she was given an honorary guard. You could join the guard. The Dohami, which is what you saw in the Woman King, that was normal in African culture, man. The Domolaje in Black Panther, that's also normal. There's nothing really superficial to me. All it is just Americans superficializing African culture. And we don't need our culture superficialized. We plenty good how we work in that thing. You know what I'm saying? We know what we are, we know what we've been, and we know what we're gonna be. You know what I mean? So yo, that's ADESHALO as a woman's advocate, man. So that's everything about ADESHALO, man. I mean, I told y'all I could freestyle this. I don't really need anything to be given to me for me to figure out what I have to say. And you know, once again, as I always do, right? In talking about when I do these episodes, getting your mind right is important. And for me, being free, being I call it knowing my lineage, gives me a what you call this thing, a upper hand. And I just fixed out my beanie. Gives me an upper hand on who I am as a human being, where I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Get your mind right, being healed within self. I think when I really started having peace within myself, because what happens to a lot of Africans, and I hate them using the word colonialism, but colonialism is nothing but slavery. They just use colonialism in Africa and then slavery in the Americas and everywhere else. It's still the same damn thing. The only difference is that you're enslaving us on our own land, which is insane. Because the only reason why they had that opportunity is because all these European countries had different warships. So that's where you had the IFA. But that's okay though, because I didn't get colonized. I didn't get a slave name. I come from a lineage of great warriors who decided that fighting the British, fighting the Spaniards, fighting the Portuguese, fighting the French was more important than being their fucking slaves. So we're not their slaves. We kicked their ass. We told them what to do. That's why I don't have any respect for Europe. They're bitches to me. You know, you've got that useless Kemi Bodnock who's in England over there kissing white people's ass because she wants to be in parliament. She's pathetic. And if you hate yourself so much, your blackness, change your name. In fact, drive your ass through a car wash and let some bleach fall on your ass so you can be white. Because we ain't going to miss you. It's about time somebody called this bitch out. She's a fucking piece of shit. And I'm going to say what she is. She's a total piece of shit. Somebody should run through her ass. She's a piece of shit. She really is. She's a coward. She's the modern day Aunt Jemima. That's what Kemi Bodnock is. Talking about slavery is not real. This woman's unbelievable. England got some things wrong. When she just talks, she's just a sellout. She's just one of those bitches. She's been sucking white boys' dicks and she has no fucking decency. That's all she is. She's a whore. Like, she's pathetic. I don't care if she ever sees this video. I hope she does one day. She's a coward. She needs to be banned from Africa, period. When white people decide to, when Europe starts going to shit, which it is, and when it's finally disintegrated, your ass should never be allowed to come back to Africa ever again. That's getting your mind right. We got to start speaking on things that are true. She's a piece of shit. This Kemi Bodnock. I'm not even going to show a picture of her. Just Google Kemi Bodnock in England. You see the coon that she is. She's a sellout. She's worse than Condoleezza Rice. And I used to think Condoleezza Rice was a sellout. But she takes Condoleezza Rice to another level. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all, that's getting your mind right. I think it's good to be mentally healthy, understanding yourself. That's why when my boss at work was, well, I don't call him my boss, when my manager of my store was talking, I was just like, okay, all right, yes, sir, done. It takes nothing for me to say all that and then just be like, conversation's done in 3 minutes. Because I know what I'm doing with my life. I'm not a permanent resident at my job. I don't care about the job. I do my 8 hours and I go home. You know what I'm saying? I do my 8 hours and I go home. That is how I roll at that job. Nothing less, nothing more. I'm not trying to make a career out of that thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I got big ambitions. You see my bigger ambitions behind me. That's my biggest ambitions right there. Making sure I pull myself forward. So that's getting your mind right, understanding your history. In the context of getting your mind right, like I was telling somebody that was in the chat right there, pyroglyphic, you must know yourself, understand yourself, know your history so that your history is your own, not what somebody gives you. For the longest time, a lot of African Americans, brothers and sisters here in America, are given their history. No, do your own research. Trust in yourself. Do your DNA. Figure out where you're from. Are you from Angola? Are you from Kenya? Are you from Nigeria? Are you from Ghana? Are you from Senegal? Are you from Ivory Coast? Are you from Burkina Faso? Are you from Mali? Are you from Niger? You see what I'm saying? Understand those things about yourself so you can be at peace with yourself. Because I tell a lot of brothers and sisters this. Until you address that, you can't have the peace that you are. And you can still be from America because you built this shithole of a country. Fuck this country. This country ain't shit without African Americans. And I'm so sick of all these racist ass Donald Trump supporters, MAGA motherfuckers, trying to erase our history. You can close down museums, but you can't take away the scars. You cowards still have the same doors in the White House, in the Capitol Hill, that these great slaves built. And I stress and I use the word great slaves because that's what they were. They built this damn country. We are the true architects of this fucking country. The engineers, cotton gin. We industrialized this damn country. And that's going to be an episode I'm going to talk about one day eventually. So, y'all, that's all of that right there. You know what I'm saying? That's really getting your mind right and understanding yourself as a person. Now, as always, y'all, you know, I reached my final thoughts, right? So today's podcast episodes was about ADESHALO, the King of Odogbolu, my great-great-great-grandmother, as I like to call her, G7. There's something special about this lady, man. You know, I talked about her origins, her initiating and taking over lineage from her father, her as a warrior, and then her as a woman king, because those two things are tied together. I don't think she keeps her throne if she's not a warrior and she's not a king of orchestration, of management, of leadership. Those kind of things are important. She's a revolutionary. She's doing things in a different way, which is making a lot of the men that are in the area understand, like, okay, we're dealing with a different type of woman here. Because for the longest, these women would get into power and then the council would be advising them to put a bunch of men around them. Why? If women can give birth, they can also be warriors too. I don't think there's no other greater warriorism than a woman having given birth to a child. That is rugged. You know what I'm saying? That is really rugged. Really, really rugged. You know what I'm saying? Really rugged. That's real rugged right there. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of like mess that, you know, that she was dealing with. And of course, she's a woman's advocate. Make sure that women have rights to stand up for themselves and to do for themselves and to be for themselves. Not have to need a man to have to do something for themselves. That's one thing a lot of these great African king queens are. They're advocates of women's rights. They don't have to have a man on their side to look for themselves, to provide them a future, to provide them a lifestyle they can do for themselves. So my great-grandmother, G7, ADESHALO, was no different. You know what I'm saying? And look, for all of y'all, welcome to another episode of Sanusi on Life, episode number 245, about my great-grandmother, ADESHALO, the King of Odogbolu. This is an amazing episode. If you haven't already liked, subscribe, hit the notification button. Look, it's she's incredible, man. And look, while I'm talking about final thoughts, you know, she was an incredible woman. So if you haven't seen this whole episode, rewind it when I'm done live streaming. You can come back and watch the whole episode. Believe me, you want to hear what I have to say. Now, look, this woman, as I said, you know, my mother, as I said, was telling me the story about her. I said, whoa, hold up. Who is this woman? And I was just blown away to realize how great of a woman. And that's why I think the way I deal with women is completely different from the way a lot of other men deal with women. I come from a family of great women, whether they're warriors, businesswomen, strong. My mother in herself is one of my mother's very strong, man. I call it a quiet strength. If I wish anything for my mom is that she has worked for herself mostly of her life, which is why I'm trying to get where I'm trying to go so that I can make that thing happen like that. And when I think about my job, I'm like, fuck my job. Like I told myself 2 days ago, I think it was yesterday. I wrote in my journal, my job is done. I'm done with this job. I'm done with this job. Sometime this year, but I'm done with this job. You know what I'm saying? When you make a contract like with yourself, it's a wrap. I told myself beginning of 2026, I was done with my job. I wrote a note to myself. And then I wrote in my journal too. Look, let me go into my journal. What day was this I said it? I said, wait, where was it? Where was it? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Nope. Let's see. Damn. Yeah, I can't remember when I wrote it. What the hell? Y'all, how you can't find something that you wrote in the journal? Can you believe it, y'all? Unbelievable. What the hell? I just wrote this like 2 days ago. There we go. I wrote it on Tuesday, April 14, 2026. I said, I'm going to be self-employed by a certain date. I'm not going to tell y'all what that is, but it's going to be this year through my art universe. I am done working for anyone because I am. I had a stupid meeting with one of my managers. I just looked at him like he was high as hell. I just fucking looked at this motherfucker like he was high as hell. Asking about I'm playing favorites on somebody. Motherfucker, I straight up told him, I don't shit where I eat. One thing about my job, I keep to myself. I'm not interested in any women at my job. I don't give a fuck. I keep it business. I got people that actually give a shit about me. I got supporters, but I'm not. You gotta let people know how you feel about them and how you not gonna just take their shit. And then when you give them silence, that's even worse than an answer. Because that means you just don't give a fuck about what they're talking about. And that was me today. I was just counting in my head like, yeah, I'm counting down to leaving this shithole. You know what I mean? So yo, that's my thing for today, man. Final thoughts. Now look, some stuff I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you some sculpture. I'm gonna show you some new apparel. I'm gonna show you some new wear. You guys gotta see this right here. Look at this sculpture. Let's start off with the shield. Being that today I'm honoring my great grandmother, ADESHALO. This right here is sick, man. Look at this. This is a shield of the highest order. I made this mug. That's right. You see, let me do a 360, let y'all see it. This thing is sick. And it's also got a grip on it too. I'm still working on it. It's not completely done, but it's getting to that point where it's gonna be almost done. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm done, the spear is gonna be on the back of the shield. It's gonna be able to strap onto the shield. So it's gonna be like this. So if you're in the chat, right? Look at this. The shield this is the front, right, of the shield. I can also put my arm inside it too. Look, watch this, y'all. You see me putting my arm in it? Look at this. You see it? And then look, you're gonna maybe put the spear like this inside there. Oh, it's gonna be sick, y'all, when I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So this is the shield. I call it the ADESHALO shield. This is I'm using this shield to honor my grandmother, my great G7, as I like to call her. You know what I'm saying? This is me honoring her. ADESHALO. She's all that in the bag of chips, man. So this is me honoring her and me realizing that I need to do something special for her. I need to do something, to honor her. So I honored her, right, with this shield. And with the same shield that I created, because I created the spear too. This spear honors my grandfather, Sanusi. I just finished it. You know what I'm saying? This spear honors my grandfather, Sanusi. This right here. There's something cool about knowing your lineage so you can really understand who you are. So don't ever let nobody tell you what you are, who you are, where you're going, man. And don't be afraid to leave a damn job if it's time to go. You have to welcome change. Change is a great thing. And look, what's cool about the spear? Look at this. It separates. Look at that, right? It's pretty sick. It turns into two. And what's cool about the shield is that it's going to have the spear on it. So it's basically a carrier case. So it holds both the shield and the spear. Look, check this out, y'all. Look at that. It's going to be like that. Of course, more centered, but something like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be chilling on the wall. So, yo, that's the spear and the shield right there. Now, next up, let me get some apparel and some sneakers and some attire for y'all. And look, once again, give me a second, y'all. You know what I'm gonna do? I don't have to carry it here. I can just go to it. Look, check this out, y'all. I'm gonna show you my website. And I'm also gonna show you some apparel too. Look, check this out. Look, this is apparel, women's apparel right here. Sport leggings, workout gear, all the coolest stuff you can see, right? This is men's gear. This is so sick. Look at this. Men's gear right here. If you love t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, all that good stuff, you want some of this right here, man. You need now. Let me get you some apparel, some sneakers for y'all to look at. Right? Successful episode. Y'all, this is already a successful episode. I mean, it's already a very successful episode. I mean, what can you say? Let me move this shield out of the way. Give me a second, y'all. Look at this. You missed it. Look at this. The spear and the shield. This is so cool. Look at that. That is sick. You know you missed that, man. Are you kidding me? This is so sick. You know what? This one I'm going to finish with the shield and the spear on this episode, man. So now, let me explain some sneakers. Let me grab my comic book. I'm so glad I recorded this episode tonight. And to think, y'all, I wasn't even trying to record this episode. I said, let me do this tomorrow. It's good to stay consistent, man. Look, let me show y'all some cool gear. Oh yeah, my backpack. That's definitely a big thing. Give me a second. That's actually really popular right now with me. Here you go, y'all. Look, backpacks, t-shirts, you name it, I've got it. You can visit my website, sanusi.com, and get your order on. This is the coolest thing you could ever see. Look at this, man. Check this out. Look at this. Backpacks. That's right. Custom design backpacks. You can visit my website, sanusi.com, and get your order on. It don't get no more cooler than this. It don't get no more cooler than this. You know what I mean? Shit. This is what we're doing over here at Sound Division, man. It don't get no more cooler than this. So this is the coolest thing ever. And this is why I believe in my dream, man. I have no fear. It's just time to go. What a job does to you is it's a crutch. It's a safety net, which is not really a safety net. You're not safe. All it does is make you stay at a place longer than you need to be, man. That's what a job is. That's what it's designed to do. And then you have to deal with people that are annoying and stupid and just say stupid shit all the time. And you just like, and you get to a point where you get tired of talking to them. So the only thing left is to give them golden silence, which is more effective. So they know that they just can't figure out why are you silent? It's because you don't care. You know what I'm saying? So backpacks, t-shirts, I'm making all kinds of cool custom stuff, man. You know what I mean? So visit soundvision.com and get your order on. We got glasses cases, we got phone cases. Yeah, let me get them out. Glasses cases, phone cases. Look, check this out, y'all. Look at this. Glasses cases, man. Oh yeah, we're making all kinds of cool stuff. Custom design glasses cases, man. You got to go get you one of these right here. And this is a Car Job Assassin's Training Day glasses case. So you know we're making cool stuff right here. You know what I mean? And then what else? Give me a second, y'all. I'm going to grab more things. Look at this. These are phone cases right here. Custom design phone cases. So whether it's iPhones, Samsung Galaxies, Google Pixels, these are for you. You know what I'm saying? And look, the cool thing also now is Sue's one of my homegirls. She's starting to wear my gear. So I got a model now. She models my gear, and trust me, she's in shape. She's a beautiful woman. She takes care of herself. She's smart. She's kind. She's happy to help me, and I'm grateful for her help, man. So you're going to start to see a lot of videos from me changing, a lot of different videos from me. She's going to be hooking that thing up. You know what I mean? And, you know, just maybe get me always being fit is a good thing, but everybody's always been like, Adewale, you need to train me. You should be a personal trainer. I'm like, I might get back into it, but in a different way, man. Of course, you all know I box. So that's definitely something I love to do. I box, of which I'll be boxing tomorrow. Tomorrow's workout is going to be boxing. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we're doing over here, man, making magical things happen. So for me, it's all about understanding of self, understanding of culture, understanding of what I'm trying to do and where I'm going, man. You know what I mean? So that's glasses. So now look, let's talk about some sneakers. Oh, man. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. So right here, sneakers. I know you love sneakers. Who don't love sneakers? Everybody loves sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Everybody always invest in your dream, no matter what. The returns will eventually come. but you must give it time to come. Look at this. This is so cool. You see this? This is sick, man. So Bata's 3 sneakers, high tops without the strap. If you love custom sneakers, you got to go get you one of these right here. This is where it's at right here, y'all. This is a creator's edition. Do you heard the word I said? Creator's edition. You know what I'm saying? This is for the creme de la creme. These are for the collectors for real. These are the ones who really want to drop them dollars and want to keep something that nobody else got. You know what I'm saying? These are where it's at right here. Y'all see this? This is next level stuff. So custom designed Bata's 3 sneakers now available on SoundVision.com, right? You got the Carjacks on one foot, you got the Assassins on one foot, and this is really paying homage to the comic book Carjack Assassins Training Day, which is out now on my website, as well as the bio book as well, which I'm going to show you all soon. You know what I'm saying? So this is this right here. Then next up, you got the Bata Sport 2s. I'm actually going to grab the Sport 3s as well, too. You know what? Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Since we're doing green, right here. Bata Sport 3s in green. That's right. Repping after. You see, I got the green shirt, green sneakers, and I'm coming with the green pants too. I'm gonna definitely make me a green pair of pants. Green everything Africa, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is the Carjack Assassins Training Day Bata's Sport 3s right here. These are available on SoundVision.com. These are definitely great for the feet. You know what I'm saying? They working them things. And you got to get the one right here, man. This is the one where it's at. This is the one where it's at. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're doing over here, man. Carjack Assassins Training Day sneakers right here, available on SoundVision.com. This is where it's at. This is where it is at. You know what I mean? So this is what we're doing over here. You know what I mean? So this is what we're doing over here. This is what we're doing over here. Look at this. Bata Sport 3s, man. Available on SoundVision.com. If you love custom sneakers, I'm going to be adding a lot of these designs on the website. This sneaker is heat. You know what I'm saying? I needed to see how they would feel, test them out, and they have passed the test with flying colors. So I would definitely say I like these more than I like the Sport 2s. The Sport 3s are definitely cooler than the Sport 2s. You know what I mean? It's the comfort design, the level. This is what makes me want to quit my job. I'm spending 8 hours getting my day taken up because of a job pays rent. No, that's not good enough anymore. You have to have a mind stronger than that to say, you know what, I can do something greater than this. So that's where I'm at now, man. I'm done with my job. It's a wrap with that job. I am done. I'm just done. I'm not, and I don't want to work for nobody else either. Fuck that. Work for somebody is fucking annoyingly horrible. You know, I'm dealing with a situation now at school where we have one of our professors. Let's just say he's getting screwed over, man. And a lot of people are, instead of doing something, people are coming up with excuses. Well, read numbers to the board. Fuck the board. People like that, you don't numbers to them. You embarrass them because they don't care. You put them on blast. That's the only way to get them to do what they're supposed to do. And if people don't like it, then they just don't like it. I really petition each individual student. And I said, look, if people want, I was telling a classmate of mine, I said, look, if we really want to help one of our professors, we straight up need to write individual letters, just like I did. Email the board of trustees, literally. Make this thing get ugly. So that way we make it go to the point where, wait, they skipped everybody. Yes, we did. You can't let people be comfortable when they're doing fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. So give me a second. And look, check this out. Hey, guess what else we got? We got comic books for y'all, man. Comic books. For all those who haven't joined the movement, you better go join the movement. You better come join it. You know what I'm saying? Look, we got 2 books for y'all. We've got the bio book, and we've got the comic book. The bio book. It's funny how when you start to do something, people don't know what to do. The bio book and the comic book. Totally available now, both of them on SoundVision.com. So I can't thank y'all enough for joining my chat, joining the movement, and being part of this amazing thing that I'm running, man. You know what I mean? But this right here is the College of Assassins Training Day comic book, now available on soundvision.com. Right here. The comic book available on soundvision.com. You can get a copy of it on soundvision.com. It comes in 2 sizes. You got the big and the small. You got the small right here. You got the big right here. Small is $100. Big one is $200. And look, let me give you a breakdown of the comic book itself. So of course you can see the cover. You can see all the heroes and villains. The carjacks, the heroes, the assassins, the villains. Then you can see the back of the comic book. You know what I'm saying? This is where it's at right here. So this is where we're at right here. Look at this. And then, of course, the inside of the comic book. That's right. So go get your read on, join the movement, and become part of this amazing movement that we got going on, man. You got to join the movement, man. People that are about this comic book are like, oh, damn, this is straight heat. So, you know, the success, man, of this book is vital. It's been very instrumental in my success and giving me the courage. Then, of course, you got the bio book itself. This is a character profile book of all my characters from the College of Assassins. Training Day, mostly training design. You know what I'm saying? You've got the heroes, the carjacks, right? Cajun, Escalade, Gloss, Raspian, Sincere, Shepherd, Diesel, Sphinx. And then, of course, you know, you got the villains, the assassins, led by Lord Sun Tzu. So you got Sun Tzu, Artillery, Excursion, Kanji, Revo, Snipes, Yukon, the Coyotes, Seth. You know what I'm saying? So bio book, College of Assassins Training Day bio book available. So look, whether you get the bio book, whether you get the comic book, or you get the small comic book, it's a win either way. You're joining the movement. So join the movement. Don't be a sucker. You know what I mean? Don't be a buster. So, yo, that's what we're doing over here, man. College of Assassins Training Day comic book, now available on soundvision.com, y'all. I mean, I'm pretty grateful for what I've done, man, and being able to achieve it. So even the hoodie that I'm wearing right now is a Training Day hoodie. This is to commemorate the comic book. The T-shirt that I'm wearing is also part of it, too. In fact, give me a second, y'all. Let me take off this hoodie so y'all can see it. You know what I mean? I'm really proud of what I've done, man. Look, check this out. Give me a second, yo. Look at this. This is you see the long sleeve tee? This is new. I just made this. This is what your boy be doing, man. You see this long sleeve tee? Yes, sir. This is also available on soundvision.com. And then the hoodie is the whole different level of material. Oh my God. It's just next level shit. You know what I mean? This is next level shit. Next level shit. This is next level shit. You know what I mean? This is next level shit. Straight up next level shit. So, you know what I'm saying? This is what we're doing over at Sound Vision. Making magical things happen. I'm telling y'all, man, you got to go get it, man. So, yeah, man, that's my night for tonight. I want to thank all of y'all for joining me. It's been an amazing episode. Today was about ADESHALO, my great-great-grandmother. And I really feel like I honored her in the best way her great-grandson descendant can honor her, man. I draw a lot of animated characters, man. Trust me. She part of the crew. Oh, don't worry, it's going down. So, y'all, next up, man, before I get up out of here, I got to thank our sponsors. This Sound Vision podcast is brought to you by Homeland Fashions, home of authentic African fashion and accessories from the motherland. Straight up, you know what I'm saying? So Homeland Fashions, we part of having Tracy Agboke on the show so she can break down to us what exactly an awesome apparel that she's bringing onto the situation so that we can actually get to see all the amazing clothes that she creates. You know what I mean? So we definitely got that. And please, and this podcast also brought to you by Teagler. If you need executive services from plumbers to pediatricians and everything in between, search Teagler. Don't wait. That's Teagler.com, yo. That's Teagler.com. As I stated, man, Homeland Fashions is Homeland Fashions, home of authentic African fashion and accessories from the motherland. You know what I'm saying? But we also got Teagler anywhere. And remember the thing about Teagler, they are your middle people. Let me pull up the website because my bad, I forgot to pull up the website. Where is it at? Right there. Look, let me show y'all Teagler. This is Teagler.com. You see it? So this is all your stuff. You go to the home, you got making a purchase, you got the hot stuff. I'm saying you got the private policy. You got to have all these things right here. And also, too, while I'm at it, you can go to soundvision.com and check out all my cool stuff that I've got on my apparel. I'm going to be changing this very soon. I'm going to be changing this right here. In fact, when I get off this platform right now, I'm going to change this so you can see a new animation I've got. Oh, and speaking of animations, Oh my Lord, have mercy. I almost forgot. Dang. Give me a second, y'all. I almost forgot. I got to show y'all the animation. And I'm definitely going to have another. Ooh, wow, look at that. One away. Oh my God, one away from 1,500. Woo, wait. That's what I'm talking about, boy. That's one away. Are you kidding me? That's beautifully fantastic. That's one away. That's magnificent, man. Look, check this out. Let me go to my content. I almost literally forgot. Let me play this episode, man. I'm about to play this animation intro. Y'all about to trip out. I almost forgot about this. Whoever left, you just left like a sucker. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is beautiful. Yeah. Y'all see that, man? That thing is beautiful, man. So thank all of y'all for joining me, man. I had to show you that, man. I almost forgot to show y'all that. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's where we at, man. And also, too, can't forget the last sponsor. This podcast is also brought to you by, oh my God. What the hell? This podcast is also brought to you by Anadel for the Knuckle. Don't live with foot pain. The Anadel for the Knuckle. Make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. Y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight, man. It's been an amazing episode. It's been fun, a lot of energy. Thank you for y'all showing up and showing out. I appreciate everybody who showed up tonight, man, to join this thing. It's been an amazing episode. When you do something like what I'm doing now, man, it's a gratitude that knows no bound. Y'all know what I'm saying? It's just I'm in a different space of serenity, man. I can't thank y'all enough. And I think it's vital and important enough to understand why you get where you get and get where you're going, where you're trying to go. It's just beautiful, man. So thank y'all for joining the podcast tonight. So look, and thank you for helping me to honor my great grandmother. You know what I mean? So let me finish this podcast. So thank y'all for joining me. Thank you for listening. This podcast is produced, written, and directed by yours truly, Adewale Agboke Jr. Please check out our website for all the cool, awesome stuff that we got on soundvision.com. From t-shirts, the tank tops, the hoodies. In fact, let me walk y'all through some of the cool stuff that we got on the website. Let me just do that right quick. Make sure I do that. You can see videos, you can see sculptures, you can do different things that I'm doing. You can see the interviews that I've been on and all kinds of stuff like that. This is the website right here, man. This is all the cool. When you get onto the website, when you scroll all the way down, the weekly superstars are there. the comic book, the $100 one, the bigger comic book, $200 ones, the bio book. You know, you got the poster, the training day poster. Yes, we have to honor the comic book. You got the sneakers. Everything is training day. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that's right. I'm not going to be afraid to promote my own stuff. I'm done with that fan art bullshit. You got College of Assassins training day sweatpants. I mean, you know what I mean? This thing is next level, man. You got the bomber jacket. You got the t-shirts. You got the women's leggings. You got the College of Assassins training day hoodie. I mean, we just doing. You got the phone case. You know what I'm saying? You got the low tops. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're doing over here, man. Visit the website, soundvision.com, and get your order on. Join the movement. That's right. Join the movement. You heard what I said. Join the movement. You know what I mean? So thank y'all for joining me, man. Look, so let me flip it back around. So y'all, appreciate y'all. And look, if you're already here, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. So y'all, that's the website, man. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am one away from 1,500. I'm at $14.99 right now. I know y'all can get me to 1,500. So let's go ahead and do that. Get me to 1,500 so your boy can get my 1,500 on. And finally say I got 1,500 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? We come a long way, man. A long way. YouTube is hard, but it's worth it, man. The journey is always tougher, but it's worth it. TikTok is just a fast viral. That's all it is. But it's not as good organically as YouTube. You want to have a YouTube platform more than you want to have a TikTok platform. That is just a fact. And please, don't forget to check out our social media platforms. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Yes, I'm on all those platforms. I'm going to say it again. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, Instagram, and Twitch. All under Sanusi Vision. Sanusi Vision is the name. You got to go get it. You know what I'm saying? And please, don't forget to review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. You know what I'm saying? And there's two things I always say. One, there's no success in skipping steps. The back of the line is just as important in front of the line. Be determined, not desperate. And then the second one, your dreams can be delayed, but must never be extinguished. So wait your time while the universe delivers your right hand. Be determined, not desperate. Y'all, thank y'all for joining me tonight. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for bringing your A game. You know, as I always say, don't forget to review us. Rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. You know, you must always aspire and achieve. You must always believe in yourself. Don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't do. Don't stay at a job longer than you need to. And I'm starting to see that with myself now. It's time for me to go. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as always, y'all, you know, continue to do great things. Give me a second. Let me grab the shield and spear. Aha. Look at this. The shield and the spear. So continue to aspire and achieve. Have a great week. Stay safe, y'all. Continue to do your thing. Look, the shield and the spear. Stay safe, y'all. Peace. Yeah. You see that? That's sick, right? Shield and the spear. So aspire and achieve. Have a great week, y'all. Stay safe. Now it's peace. You see what I'm saying? Be gone. Be gone. Deuces. See y'all next week. Ha ha.